So guys, as we know, Captain Marvel's character in MCU doesn't get introduced until Phase 3. However, it is fact that she is one of the MCU's first chronological superheroes, and also one of the most powerful characters in the franchise. In MCU, Captain Marvel was first introduced in 1995, and then we saw her after 30 years later in Endgame. Though it is still a hot topic of discussion as to exactly what she was doing during the Captain Marvel and Endgame. Despite there being 30 years missing from Carol Danvers' MCU story, her early life, work with the United States Air Force, and origin story as Captain Marvel has been well documented. So here's a breakdown of her full MCU backstory from her childhood to the Marvels. So let's start with Carol Danvers' early life. From 1964. 2019's Captain Marvel explored several periods of Carol Danvers' childhood but in flashbacks. Carol was born in mid-1960s, however because of her gender her parents never treated her equally like his brother Steve. Carol always dreamed of being able to fly and had a penchant for physical sports and activities. That's why she joined a baseball team, the Sparrows. While growing up she always faced challenges, because she was the only young girl in the midst of boys in the sports she played, but she always had the dedication to stand back up and prove herself. 1982, shortly after turning 18, Danvers applied to the United States Air Force, in order to pursue her dream of becoming a pilot. After being accepted into the Air Force Academy, Danvers was introduced to her roommate Maria Rambeau, and the pair began running together every day and building strong friendships with other cadets. During their time at the academy, Danvers and Rambeau made it their goal to join the Flying Falcons, an elite Air Force Academy squadron, but the pair were shafted for 2 male cadets instead. Danvers' first flight was in a plane named Mr. Goodnight, and though she began as a reckless pilot she quickly found her feet. Danvers' time in the Air Force Academy was full of turmoil and disappointment, though there was a lot to appreciate too, and a massive part of his involved her close friendship with Maria Rambeau. Rambeau and Danvers shared many of the same world-changing intentions, and since Danvers didn't have much a relationship with her own family, Rambeau would invite her into hers. Danvers became godmother to Rambeau's daughter Monica, and nicknamed her Lieutenant Trouble. Danvers and Rambeau eventually graduated from the academy together, earning the titles of captain. In the late 1980s, Danvers met Marvel. Annette Bennings. Marvel was a Kree scientist, who came to Earth during the Kree-Skrull War and adopted the name Dr. Wendy Lawson. Here Marvel was working under a project named Pegasus. This project is a joint venture of S.H.I.E.L.D., NASA, and the United States Air Force. In this project Marvel sought to create a light-speed engine using the Tesseract's energy, and also kept a group of Skrull refugees safe aboard her orbiting laboratory. Danvers and Rambeau were hired as test pilots for Marvel's light-speed engine experiments, receiving the call signs of Avenger and Photon. On one morning in 1989, Danvers and Rambeau arrived at the air base to meet with Marvel, who was agitated about having lives to save, which was a refer to the Skrulls. Danvers volunteered to pilot Marvel to her laboratory, but the pair were intercepted by Unravel, leading to their plane crashing near a lake. Noticing Marvel's blue blood, the Kree revealed the truth to Danvers before being killed by Unravel. Hoping to destroy the light-speed engine before Unravel could obtain it, Danvers inadvertently absorbed the raw energy of the Tesseract. Unravel wants the Tesseract energy for himself, so he abducted Danvers and brought her back to the Kree homeworld Hala. After being given a blood transfusion from Unravel, and with no memory of her human life on Earth, Danvers was integrated into Kree society, becoming a fierce warrior and a member of Starforce, an elite military task force. The abilities she had been given from the light-speed engine were dampened by a photon inhibitor, but Danvers became a skilled hand-to-hand combatant. Embarking on several missions with Starforce, they explored an investigation of Skrull activity on the planet Aphos Prime, developing Danvers and Minerva's rivalry. Realizing the war with the Skrulls was draining resources, the Kree decided to end their war with Xandar, but Yon-Rogg wanted Starforce to break into a Xandarian research base and steal plans for a weapon nonetheless. Danvers was outspoken in her disagreement with this plan, but Starforce went ahead with the plans anyway. In 1995, Starforce was tasked with traveling to the Skrull-inhabited planet Torfa to recover a Kree spy Solaire. Danvers tracked Solaire's signal to a cave, though Yon-Rogg worried it would be an ambush. Despite Solaire and Danvers sharing their identifying codes, Solaire turned out to be the Skrull General Talos in disguise, marking Ben Mendelsohn's debut in the MCU. Talos momentarily paralyzed Danvers and took her captive aboard his Skrull ship, perusing her memories in an effort to track down his family, who still resided in Mar-Vell's laboratory. This provided Danvers with her first clue, that her known history wasn't actually the reality. After escaping from Talos and the Skrulls, Danvers crash-landed on Earth in 1995, and was quickly met by a young S.H.I.E.L.D. agent named Nick Fury. Danvers proceeded to chase a Skrull aboard a train before trying to find Pancho's bar, which she'd seen in her memories. At the bar, Danvers meets Fury again and the pair begin to form a bond. They both decide to work together to investigate Mar-Vell, Project Pegasus, and the Skrulls on Earth. During their investigation at the Dark Energy Facility, Danvers learns that she was born and raised on Earth, leading her to reconnect with Maria Rambeau and discover who she really is. Once she had reunited with Rambeau, Danvers learned the truth of the Skrulls, that they are actually allies as opposed to enemies. After that, Danvers, Rambeau and Fury help Talos to return to his family aboard Mar-Vell's laboratory, but the group is ambushed by Yon-Rogg and Starforce. Danvers is forced to speak to the Supreme Intelligence but soon breaks out of her chains, destroys her photon inhibitor, and embraces the full force of her power. She uses her newfound abilities to battle Starforce, destroy a Kree Accuser ship, and send Yon-Rogg back to Hala. Following the events of Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers and Nick Fury made a promise to the Skrull refugees, that they would find them a suitable new home across the stars, since their homeworld Skrullos had been destroyed in the war. Danvers leaves Earth to do this, while Fury stays behind and begins to form plans to bring together a team of superheroes, the Avengers. 2023's Secret Invasion revealed that Danvers and Fury had failed to keep their word, and that 1 million Skrulls had been living among humanity, and a rebellious faction of Skrulls wanted to claim Earth as their own world. Captain Marvel's post-credits scene took place shortly after the events of Avengers: Infinity War in 2018. After Nick Fury had called Danvers' emergency pager while being snapped away in Infinity War, Captain Marvel appeared before the remaining Avengers asking where her old friend had gone. Learning of Thanos' actions, Danvers decided to stay on Earth and help the Avengers, soon after heading into space to recover Tony Stark and Nebula and leading the charge to the Garden to take down Thanos. Danvers continued to work with the Avengers throughout the 5-year blip in Avengers Endgame. Despite being absent for the Avengers time heist in Endgame, Captain Marvel returned during the final battle against the Mad Titan Thanos. She returned to Earth to destroy Thanos' ship Sanctuary 2nd, and took on the supervillain hand-to-hand, being practically unfazed by his attacks until he used the Power Stone to blast her out of the way. Iron Man would eventually save the day, but Captain Marvel had a huge hand in bringing the Mad Titan to his knees. Although the majority of Phase 4's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings takes place shortly after Endgame in 2023, the film's post-credits scene happens several months later, in 2024. Now Wong, the MCU's Sorcerer Supreme, brings Shang-Chi and Katie to the Sanctum Sanctorum to investigate a strange signal being sent from the Ten Rings. Wong has also established holographic communication with both Bruce Banner and Carol Danvers, with Banner being familiar with Earth's sciences and Danvers having immense knowledge of the cosmos, though both are confused by the Ten Rings and their mysterious origins. So guys, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. To stay updated with more exciting content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And before you go, be sure to share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.